If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you when you feel like falling.
Hey guys, I want to welcome everybody to Embrace the Power. Hey, Mike G's on assignment right now. He's a little bit busy, so we're doing a show out of the week, out of our normal week. And I want to thank Rack Studios for always sponsoring us. Places that we go and do things in Tampa. I want to thank all our supporters. And with that being said, Sergeant Major Woodhouse, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, Vince. Thank you for having me on here. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, so, I met you at the AUSA golf tournament a while back, and you were talking about you run a program for veterans and how they get into golf and how you are mixing sport and mental health and all that together, with June being Men's Mental Health Month, which, is a big deal. This kind of falls right into that theme. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Right on target.
All right. So what is the iGolf4Vets?
Okay, so iGolf4Vets, what we do is we use golf as a therapeutic means to help veterans and their family members cope with mental health disorders, suicide prevention, and also educate them on their VA programs, all through the sport of golf, by bringing diversity, equality, inclusion into the golf industry.
All right. So, with veterans, it's a tricky thing, because what I've learned is, and being a veteran myself and retiring, is that when we get out, it's about information. And what I'm finding, that even though you go to TAPS, which is the transitional point for veterans, the information is not always clear cut. And then you always are trying to get the right answer. And I watch people that are trying to go to the VA, they're trying to get an answer. So is it kind of like this tribe thing where everybody can get together and try to come up with some common knowledge of what it takes to get retired and get the benefits that you deserve?
Yeah. So basically, that's one of the key things that's unspoken, about what we do at iGolf4Vets. Not only do we bring veterans together to play golf, but it's more of a camaraderie, network, of veterans. And we kind of help and assist each other. Just a little bit of background about me. I used to work at the Department of Veteran Affairs Benefits Office as an appeal claims adjuster.
Okay.
So what would happen is, when someone appeals their claim, it would pretty much come to the department that I worked in, which is in St. Pete, is called the D-Rock, section. And that's where we handle all the appeal claims at. So I did that for 2 years. So I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the proper way of how to appeal, a claim. Not only that, my wife, she's also a member of our team. She's a rater, at the Department of Veteran Affairs Benefits Office. So not that we're able to go in anybody's record or anything. We just share information for the veterans to be able to use to apply to their own personal claims, or through their VSO, Veteran Service Officer, to help them prepare an appropriate claim to get a favorable action.
Well, you brought up VSOs, and the thing is, to me, is that is the trigger point for anybody being able to get their benefits. And if you get a VSO that's not very versed in it, you can miss opportunities. There's so many people that have had to go back and redo their claims, on things that were missed or this or that. And so, and they get frustrated. And I always tell them, the VA is not a bad system. Maybe back in 1970s, it was really bad. In the 80s, I said, but however, it is probably at its pinnacle, the best system we've got in place, because of the Vietnam vets, because of the Desert Storm vets, and people need to just take advantage of it. So when do you normally hold? Let me pull up your website real quick here.
Okay.
And tell us a little bit about it, how people find you there, and, and different tournaments you have coming up.
Okay, awesome. Since you're on the leadership page, you can just go ahead and scroll up, on the leadership page, and it kind of tells you a little bit about, it seems like you're already there. Yeah, it kind of tells you a little bit about the founder, which is myself and my wife as the co-founder. Also, it tells you about the members that are on our board, as well as our supporting staff. One thing new that I'm doing is I'm getting some military ambassadors now to advocate, for us. Right there, as you can see, we got a 3-star General Leslie Smith
Yeah, my
that
classmate.
you met at the ASU. You are already good friends with him as well. He's an advocate for us, as well as the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack Tilley.
Right.
I'm currently looking for some Marine, personnel, Navy personnel, Air Force. I do have one right there. I got to get his photo up, but he's the 18th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, which is equivalent to the Sergeant Major of the Army.
That's correct.
So he was the Sergeant Major of the Air Force.
He got Space Force too.
Yep. So I'm starting to build that up now and get a appropriate support from key leaders in all branches to be advocates of iGolf4Vets.
Okay. Well, I'm a terrible golfer, so we all need lessons.
there you go. So now you're under services, or you kind of flipping back and forth on me. So here we got a couple of membership prices, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I know we only have a certain amount of time.
That's all right.
But there's several levels of membership depending on what type of level of golfer you are. I'm part of, you see, I have a PGA Hope membership. For those that don't know what PGA Hope is, that is PGA's military program for veterans, where they offer a curriculum, a 6 to 8 week curriculum for veterans to learn how to play the game of golf.
Whoa.
After this curriculum, there is no continuation. So I come in with iGolf4Vets, and I'm working on an exclusive partnership with PGA to be able to be that continuating force for the veterans to continue to partner up and build camaraderie and play on a normal basis after they receive the basic instructions, of how to play golf.
Right.
So that program is a brand new program that we just started. We're offering that program for $0 for the members that go through that course and complete it. For those that don't get into the PGA program, because they only hold 10 people per session.
Wow.
And you have thousands on the waiting list to go through that program. And I'm going to kind of get into another thing that I'm doing to help mitigate that issue. But also, you see, I got a $5 a month basic membership. And below it, you can kind of see what that all's included with that membership.
Yeah.
The same with the $129.95 and the $499.95 membership.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since we brought up the PGA, they have the Valspar tournament, every year. And so I got tickets one year, and I went for the Army, but somebody's subsidiary did it because it was right after COVID. So let me ask you this question now: is so are you kind of partnering do you help with the vets tent for the Army or the military tent that they have at the Valspar down in Tampa?
So with iGolf4Vets, we're 3 years into existence right now.
Okay.
And I reached out to Valspar to kind of do something with them in regards to that. But what they have right now is they have free tickets for veterans to come in, and they have a veteran tent that they have sponsors that sponsor the veterans tent. I think Chick-fil-A is one of them, a couple other big sponsors. So that's how the veterans are allowed to go there and play for free. What I have done, though, is I partner up with other organizations as well, like Wounded Warrior Project.
Right.
And Wounded Warrior Project sometimes has a cabana, and sometimes veterans get to go there and participate, with Wounded Warrior Project as well. But as far as my organization with iGolf4Vets, we're not receiving the corporate funds right now. in order to do something like that. However, if a VP or an executive or marketing director listen to this call, please reach out to me. Let's talk. Let's see how we can get some of those corporate fundings, so that we can do some of these things for veterans, so that we also could be included with doing things at no charge for these veterans.
So, I think the biggest struggle, and I just talked to the people for the jazz festival recently, and it was on a couple shows back on the show. We had them on the show here, and they were talking about sponsorship. And as a minority-owned business, what we're trying to find out, and it's not to go down any political side or anything, is that we're finding out that it kind of seems, even if it's veterans, even though that getting that sponsorship is sometimes it's a murky water. No one knows like the clear path to be in front of the right holders, to find an angel, to find a partner, or any of those guys that normally are ladies or females. Let me stand correct, 21st century, to bring that together, to be able to help veterans in need. Because there's people out there all the time saying, "Oh, I want to help vets. I want to help vets."
Yeah.
But somehow there's a disconnect between the communication piece of linking organizations like yours to the Chamber of Commerce with probably ample donors.
Yes. So here's one thing that I found in my search of that same scenario is you would run into situations where certain companies are looking for the big organizations to sponsor.
Right.
I.e., as far as veteran organizations, you got the Wounded Warrior Project out there. You got, I think it's Foes of Flags. You got VGA, Veterans Golf Association. You have these huge organizations already out there, to include the non-veteran organizations like Make-A-Wish Foundation, St. Jude, American Heart Association, Cancer Research. So a lot of these corporations are already pouring in hundreds of thousands of dollars, even
Into
millions of dollars, into some of these.
And not to cut you off, but the
You
Wounded
good, you
Warrior
good.
program, the Wounded Warrior program has star power behind it. So the guy Sinise got behind it. So I think so when we look at, like, you brought up a couple of the different ones, but if you go look at the face behind it, was someone in Hollywood, or somebody that was linked to somebody that had stats like The Rock, or somebody that ends up getting them into the door, and the corporations jump on the actual, what was it, Forrest Gump. So they jump on that on that bandwagon with the Wounded Warrior program project. And so when you look at that, they've been around in existence. So it's probably after 2005, 2006 now, after when people start coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yep.
So they've been around a while now, but they also were able to get, at the beginning, they had the right senior leaders get the right stars to get align the right thing. So my question is, even though this is a great idea and it's conceptually where it needs to be, we need to do a better job at advertising it and getting it in front of the right people. That's what I'm seeing.
I agree 100%. That's why I'm really going after some of these key leaders in the military to be advocates, to be honorary ambassadors for iGolf4Vets, because a lot of them are in other positions now outside of the military, i.e., Lieutenant General Leslie Smith. He's a vice president with AUSA. Sergeant Major retired of the Army, Jack Tilley. He has a podcast as well with I can't think of the name of it.
I'm tracking it though.
Yeah. So he has his, as well as you, Brigadier General Bergs. You doing your thing out there. You see what I'm saying? So some of these key leaders out here are already doing other things that, if they become advocates for iGolf4Vets, will help push that as well. And one thing that me and my marketing director was having conversation about is let's take someone like Tiger Woods, for example, whose father was in the military. You got Shaquille O'Neal, that's an avid golfer. His stepfather or his father that took care of him was in the military.
Play golf.
Right, and plays golf. So if we can get our face and foot in the door with those type of individuals, who knows what can happen for iGolf4Vets.
But I think the biggest struggle always is like with Shaq or Tiger and a couple of other of the artists. There's so many layers to get to that one person.
Get to that person, correct. Now, I'm gonna tell you another way that we can probably do it as well, because this is another avenue that I'm looking to take. Sometimes with small businesses, especially like the one that I have, which is involved in sports,
right?
We can sometimes get our foot in the door with, let's say, like Adidas or Nike or Under Armour. So if I can get my foot in the door with one of them, which is not that hard to do, as a matter of fact, I may have an inside connect with Puma.
Right.
But once you get your foot in the door with one of them, they have celebrities that's already being ambassadors for them.
Absolutely.
And so that's another way that once you really get your foot in the door with one of those corporations, then there's a way that you'd be like, I have a golf tournament coming up. I know Michael Jordan is with Nike. I would love for Michael Jordan to attend my celebrity golf event if he's available, and let them get in touch with him, you know. And so that's an avenue, and that's the way my mind kind of goes, and thinking. And I'm just one of those guys, I don't take no for an answer. If I get a no going through this door, I'm trying to find another way through another door.
Now that's kind of the wave of the future, because what we're seeing is this: kids have so much influence on the next generation. The generation you're marketing to is my generation.
Correct.
But the Gen Xers are such a small generation. So I would say you have to widen that aperture and go, okay, this is the Gen Xers, because of birth control, we're the smallest generation of all generations. The biggest generation is boomers, and then it's the Gen Zs and millennials. They're huge.
They coming up big.
Yep. Right. So the thing is, you got to build a bench to keep, and that's what the One Year Project, the One Year Warrior Project did. It built the guys that were right there, but then they built the bench with the younger guys. So it's the same thing. It's something that you might want to look at when you host an event, getting some of the college kids, and that's what ASAU did. They had USF college students there helping out, doing all games with ROTC, trying to build that bench. They were building that bench. And I've learned that because I coach at a high school football team and here in Durant, as the running back coach. But I've learned the wave of the future is Instagram, TikTok, and all this. And you have such a great program. Your social media person's kind of got to look at a two target audience. They got to look at the boomers, and then they got to look at the next gen that's coming up.
Yeah,
that's just my thought.
Okay.
So, what events do you guys have coming up?
Okay, so we have weekly events.
Okay, I'm gonna hit that right now. Here's a weekly coming at you.
Yep. You go to our weekly events tab. We have multiple events throughout the week that anybody that wants to learn golf will be able to get into and get involved. I think this Wednesday we're going to be playing at Plantation Palms in Tampa, Florida. And that's going a little slow on us.
Yeah, it's not popping up, but that's all right because it happens. But you can talk through it.
Yep. So for our upcoming weekly event, we're going to be playing this Wednesday at Plantation Palms, as well as you can stroll down till you get. So they kind of give a bottom at the bottom. We have passed the first. Yep. So we passed the first Wednesday. We passed the third Wednesday. So keep going. Matter of fact, we're at the third Wednesday now. Nope. Yep.
Oh, I was good then. I was right there.
Yep. You was right there on the third Wednesday. So that's going to be at Plantation Palms. It's going to be a scramble. If anybody's interested, you can go ahead and sign up. Send an email. If you scroll back up to the top, we also have a group me link to where you can click on the group me link to join. That's pretty much our daily communication chat.
Okay.
You know, so that's how we communicate daily. So if somebody be like, hey, tomorrow Tuesday, we don't have a scheduled event, but I want to go out, to the driving range or whatever. I want to go hit, play 18 holes. The guys can link up together and go play even when there's not event scheduled. Because it's just a network of camaraderie of veterans, and a lot of people don't understand the mental health piece that it provides, being out there on the golf course. I get some people be like, man, golf stresses me out. I guess it depends on what type of competitor you are. if you're one of those super competitive guys, and you're playing bad golf that day, then yes, it can stress you out. But we have members that literally, because of PTSD issues that they're going through and that they're faced with on a daily basis, they have a hard time getting out the house. And just by them finding that network where they can go out with like-minded individuals, and play a game of golf, even whether it's good or bad, just by them being out there, being engaged, being involved, is helping them with their mental health. And a lot of the times the feedback we get is, man, you saved my life, because all I would do is sit at home all day, and drink, and drink till I can't do anything else but pass out. So those are some of the reviews that we're getting back in feedback, from some of our members that are playing. And it's just so beautiful and peaceful.
Well, all right. Can family members join the veterans?
Yes, sir. Family members are definitely welcome. As I stated in our mission statement, it's for the veterans and their family members, because we don't want to leave them out. We want them to feel included as well. Because what a lot of people fail to realize is not only is that veteran going through, some mental things, the family members are well, because they were separated for a long period of time, and that separation may have caused certain type of PTSD, and stuff to the family members. So we're exclusive to all.
Oh, and with June being Men's Mental Health Month, and you can just look on Instagram, any platform, they're just talking about the amount of suicides that we have with young men and the amount of suicides we have with Gen Xers right now.
Yep.
That go through divorce. It seems like the default mechanism of everything is just, take the short answer instead of dealing with the problem long term and go ahead and get through what they got to get through. So it's a pleasure having you on, Sergeant Major, and having you talk about iGolf4Vets and how important it is for all soldiers and individuals to have their mental health put together. And I appreciate everything you do. And as always, I'll say thank you for your service. You can never hear it enough. I know people say I hear it all the time, but you can never hear it enough, because my dad was a Vietnam vet, and I saw what he went through, and I saw him do his 24 years in the Air Force after Vietnam, and all that, and just that how he was just disheartened by the amount of people that were treating him bad after Vietnam, So the good thing about it, he was able to see me get through Iraq twice, and it made him feel a lot better. And with that being said, if you had any advice to give anybody out there, nugget of advice you would give them, what would you like to say, Sergeant Major?
Yes, I would say understand what your triggers are. Everybody has a certain level of mental health, issues that they go through. So the key to it is understanding what triggers you. And it's different for everybody.
That's great.
But once you identify those triggers, and once you feel yourself going down that hole, please reach out to somebody. I can't say that enough. That's one of the main reasons why I started iGolf4Vets, because after retirement, I found myself in a dark place trying to figure out what's next. And
many of us do.
Doing that process of figuring out what's next, I didn't know. And I really found myself going down that rabbit hole, but the spiritual side of me caught it, and told me to go talk to somebody. And I went to one of the pastors at my church, and kind of explained my situation. He said, it just sounds like you lost your purpose. You know, you need to figure out what your purpose is. And he said, what is it that you enjoy doing? And I said, I love taking care of veterans. That's what I did for 27 years of my life, you know, and and then retiring as a sergeant major, that's all I did was took care of soldiers.
Selfless service.
Yep. Selfless service. And after that conversation, I met this gentleman. He introduced me to the game of golf, and I fell in love with it. And I said, wait a minute, this is really helping me with my mental health. I wonder how many other people I can help. So I started with a small group of my friends, and we just started doing it. And it's been growing, and we're up now to almost 400 members.
That's beautiful. That's a blessing in disguise, man. God bless you guys and everything you're doing. All right, guys. So how does anybody get in touch with you real quick before I get out of here? How do they reach you?
First and foremost, I'm on every social media platform you could think of. And the handles are iGolf4Vets. I made it very simple. You can catch me on LinkedIn for professional stuff. You can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and even YouTube, which I'm not doing a whole lot on that because it's hard to make videos and play at the same time.
Absolutely.
If people
you gotta have a crew, right?
People don't want you slowing them up on the golf course neither.
That's right. That's right. You gotta have a crew with you behind you with a camera.
That's it. But all social media platform, my website is iGolf4Vets.org. Also email address iGolf4Vets at gmail.com, as well as info@iGolf4Vets.org. And phone number is 813-819-1279.
Cool. That worked.
Right.
Hey, and with that being said, guys, Sergeant Major, thank you for coming on. And listen, if you ever have any issues, make sure you call someone, reach out to someone. You're never alone. It's always a team effort, and you always have to build a tribe. With that being said, thank you for being on Embrace the Power. My boy Mike G will be back soon next week. But with that being said, Sergeant Major, thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.